Whenever this whole climbing a crystal tower in the sky fiasco is over, Kogla and Grunt are going to get an apartment together. How nice. Welcome to Commander Breakdown. Welcome to the Commander Breakdown of Kogla, the Titan Ape. Super excited. Love legendary monkeys. But before we jump into the video, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/Jolt MTG, it'll allow yourself to get some cards and apply the affiliate coupon code, and that way you can support the channel at the same time. So if you do use it, hey, much obliged. So let's go and talk about Kogla. I love this. We have Kogla, the Titan Ape, 3 mana and triple green. Whenever Kogla enters the battlefield, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Then whenever Kogla attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Then for a 2 mana activation, return target human you control to its owner's hand. Kogla gains indestructible until end of turn. I love this. I love it when they make a commander that has this really unique mechanic that kind of operates with, bringing something back, the flavor. It's just everything. Awesome. I'm loving this set so far. Now, as far as the leeway for Kogla, you're going to have a lot of room for whatever you want to build. You probably do want to incorporate some sort of human package in there, but as far as whatever you're doing, you just want to have some sort of concentrated effort. You don't really need to go super heavy human tribal. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. If you want to go kind of use Kogla as a control commander, just use a lot of destruction effects and kind of mono green control, you can certainly do that. But as far as whatever you're doing, you're going to have a lot of creativity. You just want to have that concentrated creativity if you're going to do that. So as far as the actual support, it's going to be fairly low because if you are going to run a human package, you can't really get too wild with humans in mono green. So as far as that goes, it's going to be a little bit of a low support package. And as far as the timing goes, you want to treat Kogla as a nuisance on the board state. You want your opponents to be like, oh, he's down. What do we do now? And so this is definitely going to make it a late game commander. You want to have a lot of mana on the battlefield. You want to at least be able to get it down and go for an activation if you want to make it indestructible to protect it. So this is going to be your classic late game commander. Really, even though it costs 6 mana, you're probably shooting this to be about 8 mana, at least having that activated ability open. So, but other than that, super excited, completely open. I love it when they make open commanders that have a unique mechanic like this. So, excited to build it. Definitely going to be going with humans. Now, since we do care about having humans in a deck like this, there are some really nice humans that have enter the battlefield effects. That's going to work really well with using Kogla's ability to bring those human backs. Eternal Witness, Borderland Ranger is going to allow you to get a basic land out of your library into your hand. Eternal Witness is going to bring something back out of the graveyard. Petitioner, over the course of a game, just going for that activated ability, bringing Petitioner back to your hand, then gaining that devotion of green gaining life equal to your devotion for green. That's also going to help you just kind of stall the game out and really build up a really nice board state. Same thing with Foul Emissary. That's going to allow you to look at the top 4 cards of your library, kind of find another creature, and then same thing with Beast Tracker. That's going to allow you to grab some sort of keyword ability. If you're going to be running Beast Tracker in here, it is a human. You want to at least make sure you have some sort of finisher that hits on Beast Tracker's abilities, but those are going to be very nice. Outside of the kind of utility creatures with nice enter the battlefield effects, you can also kind of run some of these aggressive human packages. You've got Kamal, Fist of Krosa. That's going to give Kogla Trample, which is going to be very nice for the deck, especially being able to give your entire board state +3/+3. And like I said, this is going to be a late game commander, so by the time you're getting down Kamal, you have Kogla down. If you're going to be able to go for 1 or 2 activations, sign me up. That is some good magic. Also, same thing with Dustwatch Recruiter. That's going to allow you to filter through your library. You can use Dustwatch Recruiter in kind of an infinite mana way, and I'll kind of explain that at the end of the video. But you can use it in an aggressive early way to kind of dig for stuff, or you can just use it as a combo finisher. Also, Champion of Lambholt. As you keep having these humans enter the battlefield, you're going to get more and more +1 counters on her, and that's going to make your board state that much harder to deal with. So same thing with Obsessive Skinner and Werebear. These aren't super crazy, but hey, they're humans and they do something. Even though Werebear does say Druid Bear, it is a human Druid Bear. So Obsessive Skinner is going to allow you to get a +1 count on your creature, especially if you get Delirium online. And then once you have Threshold active, you're going to end up with the 4/4 human that's going to be ready to swing in with Kogla or go back to the hand. That way you can cheer them on from right there. There's also some really nice utility humans that you can run into your deck. Sylvan Safekeeper, that's going to give you some nice protection for Kogla or any of your other humans out there. Tireless Tracker is going to give you some really nice card advantages as the game goes on. You're going to be getting extra lands on the battlefield. You're going to be trying to make extra land drops. So at least having these clue tokens tag along is going to help kind of push you into that late game. And then same thing with Tracker. That's going to allow you to kind of keep free stuff, keep creatures off your opponent's side of the board state. And also, Ichneumon Druid. I mean, it's a human. You can run it in here. Deals 4 damage to any opponent casting an instant. So, you know, this may seem goofy, but it actually kind of does have a place. You know, let's say you're playing at a table that has a lot of blue players or red players, Izzet players, people that are casting a lot of instants. You can get this druid down. They try to cast instant to it, and it's going to deal 4 damage to them. You can bring it back to your hand to protect it. It's just a really kind of interesting way that you can use Kogla's ability to kind of mess with your instant opponents at the table. And then same thing with Nightshade Pendler. You're going to be able to have this enter the battlefield, give another creature death touch, and then just kind of change it around. You know, if you want to soul bond on one creature, start swinging in at one opponent, bring it back, have it soul bond with another creature, that's another option that you can use. It's just going to give you some really nice flexibility in your board state and what you're trying to accomplish. Now, moving on to the fun part of the deck tech, and that is going to be the Enchantress package that you can run with Kogla. I love this. All of these are humans. It works out so well. You have V Enchantress, you have a Midlothian Enchantress, you have Champion. All of these are humans, and they're also going to give you some sort of value by getting an enchantment on the battlefield, or in Champion's case, you're going to be able to get a +1 counter. Let's say you can't start swinging with Kogla, you can start pumping up on Champion and becoming a problem for your opponent. Whatever that may be, the fact that these are all humans is going to work out really well with his activated ability to bring them back, because these are creatures that you do want to protect. If you're playing Enchantress, you've gotten to the point where you've gotten to the late game, you have a lot of mana, you don't want to give up on these pieces. You know, if an opponent goes for a board wipe, you can just tap a bunch of mana and bring all of your card draw pieces back, which is going to be a very good thing for you to do. Really going to allow you to kind of rebuild from a board state, which is exactly what you want to do with Enchantress. Same thing with Eidolon of Blossoms and Enchantress Present. You just want to run those redundant cards that allow you to get some really good card draw. While we're on the topic of enchantments, you do want to run some sort of enchantment creature package to kind of hit some overlapping value. Dryad's going to make sure that we can get an extra land drop. Destiny Spinner, that's going to be one of those late game. I'm still kind of playing with this card in a couple different decks. I enjoy it. It kind of feels like one of those win more cards, but it also can kind of be a problem for your opponent. You know, if you have extra mana left over, you actually have a really good enchantment board state, it just kind of turns the pressure up on your opponent, which is really something that's good. And then same thing with Nyx Bloom Ancient. That's going to give you just a ton of mana. The world's going to be your oyster. You can pretty much do whatever you want. And of course, Courser of Krufix. That's going to be an enchantment and at the same time allow you to kind of rip lands off the top of your library. Now, if you're going to be taking Kogla in a Voltron package with enchantments, you definitely want to run some sort of trample effect. You've got Fist of Ironwood that's going to tag along with a couple extra sapling tokens. You have Rancor, Talons of Wildwood. These are all ways that you can bring this back. If something does happen to Kogla, or let's say you put it on Champion, like I mentioned earlier, start swinging in, something happens to it, you're going to be able to bring these back and use it for Kogla whenever you really need to turn the heat up on your opponent. Same thing with Ancestral Mask and Vow of Wildness. These are options that just, you know, let's say you have like 5 enchantments on the battlefield. That's +10/+10 with Ancestral Mask. Let's say one of those cards is Talons of Wildwood. There you go. You can see how quick Kogla can get out of hand. And of course, if you're running Voltron with auras, you definitely want to toss in Alpha Authority and Canopy Cover. I cannot stress how good Canopy Cover is. It can't be targeted by your opponent's creatures, but it still allows you to kind of put auras on your own creature, and it can't be blocked by creatures except with flying. So flavor-wise, it's kind of like Kogla's up in the top of the jungle in the Canopy Cover. I don't know, I love it, but it works out perfectly here. And same thing with Alpha Authority. It's going to make it to where you're going to bottleneck your opponent's creature, stopping this huge creature swinging in, and just be a really big problem. And of course, talking about auras, you do want to run all of the Umbras, you know. Now, depending on what sort of Umbra package you want to run, I mean, you can run all of them. If you're going heavy Enchantress, I would definitely do that. But if you don't have access to them, or you're not going to run all of them, highly recommend Bear Umbra. That's going to give you the option of untapping your lands. If you don't know about all these Umbras, they basically have totem armor, so it's just like an extra protection spell, or just kind of a regeneration shield for your commander, which is very nice in an Enchantress because you're going to be a target at the table the more stuff you stick on there. Now, keeping on theme with the Enchantress package, you do want to run some of your ramp in enchantment form, so there's a lot of options to enchant your lands to get ahead on mana. That's going to be Wild Growth, Fertile Ground, Overgrowth. We've got Weirding Wood, which is going to give you that Investigate token, Willful Haven. Basically, you just want to incorporate some sort of way to kind of increase that card draw with your Enchantress pieces, and at the same time utilize ramp in a way. So that's really going to help you out. Also, stuff like Burgeoning, Omen of the Hunt, Exploration, these are going to allow you to make those extra land drops and start to cash in some extra card draw. You know, even late game, you know, let's say that you're just digging for stuff, you draw into Exploration, you get it down, kind of cantrip it, allows you to make extra land drops as you draw more cards. There's just not really at any point during the game where you're not happy to see one of these cards, because hopefully If it's late game, you're going to be able to go for some card draw. And of course, you want to run some sort of kind of way to interact with your opponent's board state, Song of the Dryads, and a Seal of Primordium. That's going to keep you open and go for that card draw. Now, depending on what sort of package you're going for, let's say that you do skip out on humans, you still want to run some sort of Enter the Battlefield package. Guardian Project, Season of Growth, Path of Discovery. How heavy you go on these kind of depends on how many creatures you have, but if you're running a lot of humans in there, or just kind of mana dorks, tossing these in there just really help get you that extra value as you start casting stuff onto your board state. Just getting this nice little incremental card advantage is really going to help you close the game out. Same thing with Lifecrafter's Beastry and Beast Whisperer. Once again, you're going to be casting creatures, you're going to be casting humans. For Kogla to bring back, why not get an extra card draw while doing it? So, Beast Whisperer is definitely going to allow you to go for that. And of course, this is going to be a Party City deck because we have a commander with an Enter the Battlefield effect. Panharmonicon and Conjurer's Closet are really going to help you get some really nice triggers and just kind of hit that Mario star and kind of go from there. Now, the best for last. This is going infinite with Kogla, and I'm pretty sure this works. So you need to have 7 devotion. So let's say that you have Kogla, you have Crossroads, which is going to give all of your creatures haste, then you have Karametra's Acolyte, something like Hidden Herbalist or Magus on the battlefield, whatever that is. Let's say you have 7 devotion. So you use Kogla, everybody has haste, Karametra's Acolyte, get it onto the battlefield, tap it down, add a bunch of mana. If your opponent can interact with your board state, then they're going to be able to stop it. But if nobody has any instant speed interaction, you're going to be able to generate as much mana as you want. That's going to be something like a big Genesis Wave. That's going to be Dutch Watch Recruiter, filtering through your library, whatever that may be. Just getting to this point to where your creatures have haste, you have an active Karametra's Acolyte, and at least 7 devotion, you're going to be able to make infinite mana, which, this is kind of one of those things where you don't have to be like, I need to win with this. But if you just have this in your deck, it's always nice to have Crossroads. It's a 1 mana haste enabler. Let's say you have a lot of late game, you have a lot of mana, you just want to dump a bunch of creatures out and start swinging in. It's something that if you have it late game, that's awesome because you can set it up. So if you do end up running this in your deck, if you draw into it, awesome, go for it. If not, you don't have to force the deck into it, but it's always nice to have some decks that if you have this break glass in case of emergency combo, like this one, it's always nice to run it in there because there are some times where it's hard to close the game out with just regular commander damage. But that is going to be it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions or any cards that you're really excited about using, hop in the comments, leave them below. People do use these videos to kind of starting points for their decks. And if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.